Welcome, everyone, back to round 2 of our Winter 2020
Death Game
Ugh.
fighting tournament. It's
Fight.
really poorly named and even poorly conceived, but the person who was in charge of that, well, turns out she didn't keep. So he's not here today. DJ, do you want to tell us?
I'm still trying to process.
Don't worry
I'm
about
back.
it.
Oh yeah,
Hello.
Ray, you're going to be here for all around one for sure.
Yeah, that's true. She didn't keep.
Don't worry about it.
You know exactly what we're talking about.
All right, fair enough. That's cool. Oh, she didn't keep. oh.
DJ, for sure, leave this in. But you can cut out the part where I told you to leave it in if you want.
Okay.
So, DJ, do you have for us the 2 shows we're going to be talking about for this round?
I do, actually.
Please.
I was waiting for Ray to shut the fuck up.
No.
It is Smile Down the Runway versus Interspecies Reviewer.
Ray, you really liked Smile Down the Runway.
Okay.
So please tell us.
So earlier today, when we were talking, I had made a joke about oh, there's one that I hated more than another one, and they pointed. They took some guesses. They took some guesses, and they were wrong. Now it is time to reveal that Smile Down the Runway is legitimately the biggest piece of garbage that I have ever watched, bar none. Bar none.
You're wrong.
This is a fucking twist. First off, DJ, your absolutist statements are always wrong. Please refrain.
So you're fair.
But I am fascinated by the fact that you could hate this show that much.
Yeah,
Okay.
really.
So
I'm shocked.
Well,
that's why I said he's wrong, that this is the worst thing he's ever watched.
it is the worst. It is one of the worst things I've ever watched.
Tell you what, I got something to show you later.
Okay. No, I'm sure I can be proven wrong real easily, but I'm just saying, as it stands, absolutely right now have
Okay,
no
Ray,
interest.
I got it. We all got it. You hate this show. Why do you hate it so much?
The main character, what was it, Chi-Chi, whatever, Chijuri, whatever her name is,
Go on.
is like one of the most unlikable protagonists I've ever
She's
seen.
not the main character.
She is the main character.
The show does a fucking switcheroo at the end.
She is the main character, and Purple Bob is because
That's his name.
Yeah.
Purple Bob
Christian
is a supporting character.
I'm not sure if that's true.
I'll
it's
say
true.
it the same way that
First episode is true.
okay, well, I mean, you guys have a context beyond mine, but I'm just saying I'll say this: if this show, when they got to the part where Purple Bob goes back home, right, and is interacting with his family, his 3 sisters,
Yeah.
right, and then interacted with his mother at the hospital, if it was that, all on board. No problem with that character. No problem with those side characters. If it was just that, the entire other half,
What, where he's talking to his
where
family at home?
no, not just. But I'm saying him following his dream as being a fashion designer and blah blah blah. Cool. The model thing, bullshit. Completely bullshit. Your dad fired you.
Well, I think that's why at the very end of the season, of the episode, it does that switcheroo. Like, hey, this is the story of me becoming a great fashion designer. And then he's the one that reads out the title for the next episode. Because I think it's actually
Not
really about him.
It's
about both of them.
It's going to be
Like,
about both of them.
Yeah, it's about both of them, but
they're
and that's
operating in
fine.
parallel and everything.
Yes, she's not like a super great character, but
She's quite literally one of the worst.
This is the show I liked so much that I actually watched it twice, and I watched it once with Becky. And she actually thought it wasn't that bad.
That's probably not the best way you could have explained that.
She
thought it wasn't that bad.
No, she doesn't like the anime that much. She's a really hard person to sell watching a new show on. She falls in love with
her dad fired her.
Shows.
Her dad fired her.
Yeah.
From a company, right? Okay. Then she keeps auditioning.
Yeah.
And then she gets the audition because she happened to wear a different outfit that day.
No, she gets into the audition every single time.
No. She happens to get the contract that day because she wore a particular outfit that day. Hold on. Because that's not even the problem. Then the problem is, then they sat down with Purple Bob and the daughter and the father, right? The father who owns the modeling agency. And he's talking to Purple Bob. He's like, we're going to offer you a job. I'm like, okay, cool. Right? Why wouldn't the dad just be like, oh, and by the way, your contract's void?
Is her dad?
What? Her dad was the one that fired her the first time. That is established. You watched it twice and you didn't get that?
No.
I know what you're talking about. Why does that upset you so much?
I think I see the problem here.
It's inconsistent, incoherent bullshit.
Ray, are you familiar with the concept of anime logic?
No, okay,
Please answer the question flatly.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the concept of an unreliable narrator?
Yes.
I think what we have here is a situation of those two things working in tandem, and we're not getting the full story of what happened. I think the firing is more of a symbolic firing than like a literal firing.
Okay, well, I understand that. But if it was symbolic, I don't think they would bring it up as much as they do.
They only brought up the firing once.
They brought up the firing 3 or 4 separate occasions in the first episode.
Are you talking about when the model is talking to the
Correct.
other guy during the interview?
They bring it up. They say he got fired. Then the one who was helping the supermodel said, "I know, you got fired, but here's an application to a different modeling agency." Then he also later in the episode asked, "Why haven't we banned her yet?" And she's like, "Well, the dad fired her, blah blah blah, but like we have to reiterate it." Oh, by the way. The secondhand parenting bullshit. Okay, cool. Good for you. Don't have your you have your model trying.
Oh, you didn't get any stepmom subtext from that?
I know. I get that, but it's like that's just really, really lame and kind of lazy in my mind. Like there's a lot.
Welcome to anime.
You're like.
Again, DJ, your way of saying that probably not the best.
Okay,
I know, but even in bad anime, there's still more coherency.
No, there isn't.
This might be the first time we've seen an anime parent's face since season 3 of Digimon.
Right.
No, I get that, and I understand that you. Like, I didn't get the whole unreliable narrator thing because it didn't feel like it was being set up at all.
Well, again, having watched one episode, I can't confirm that whether or not, but I do think that the narration is supposed to be that character's interpretation of what happened rather than
but she's so unlikable. So who cares if she was like a narrator or not the unreliable?
But Ray,
she's so unlikable.
She's a rough diamond.
No. She's not.
Why is she so unlikable?
She's a petulant child.
Correct.
I mean, there's that. Yeah. But she's not like a person that you hate.
Absolutely would hate.
Okay, fine.
With a strong passion, would never want to associate with a person even remotely like that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be best friends with them, but
no, I wouldn't even want to associate with them. Is what I'm getting.
All right,
at.
let me level with you about something. I agree with you for the first 8 minutes of the show.
Okay.
The moment when she runs back to the room and is like, why the fuck would I say that to someone when people say that shit to me all the time?
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'll give you all my clothes. That was the moment when I was like, oh, this character wants to be better than they are. I see.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would give this show a chance at that point.
Yep.
And if you don't want to, that's
right.
fine. But
a part of me was like,
this isn't school days, is my point.
Right.
Like, there seems to be an intention of growth.
Yeah.
Intention of growth or intention of using somebody for their own power, like your own gain?
Ray, I think you're just being cynical.
No, she has like classic sociopathic tendencies kind of deal.
Also, she knows that this guy wants to be a designer, but they don't have any budget.
She knows that she can use him in order to get ahead.
Or she realizes that there's no budget for him to make clothes, and that she saw in the closet like, hey, he's had to cut these clothes apart and resew them together so many times.
What's the best way to get ahead? Have a personal designer.
Or a dad who runs a company.
Apparently not, because you got fired.
Well,
But that's the
now
point,
this
though.
circles back to that whole petulant child thing. Like, if she wasn't like fucking Paris or
She
Brooklyn,
applied to the other place though, too. Like, yes, the fact she's so obsessed on like going to Paris, that's dumb. But
no, that's a life goal. But
it's a good to have a dream. But she goes to the other company and gets hired.
Uh huh.
Just and to like kind of like validate.
And then
like,
and then
"No, I
instead
can't
of
do
and
this."
then instead of accepting that work and building yourself up, no,
She still has a dream.
no, I have to go to the fashion agency named
wants to-
after me.
She wants to go work
Because I'm
for
a
her
sociopath.
father. No, she wants to work for her.
She's a
the company her father
sociopath.
made.
I think there's a middle ground between what you're saying and what he's saying, and that I think the character is a spoiled child.
Right.
Yeah, I, mean,
I don't
she's
think
probably a
that
little
is
spoiled.
necessarily a sociopath, but we are talking about a child who was fucking 158 centimeters tall at age 10 and was an amateur model, and her father had a model agency. Like, I totally buy the whole, this character might not be the most grounded in reality.
Uh huh.
And then the show seems to be, in the first episode, them being like, okay, this plan doesn't work. Let's try something else. And I could see how you would be like, sociopath.
Let me ask you this question.
Please.
Where does her character go?
I couldn't tell you. I only watched episode 1.
I'm guessing
No,
Paris.
no. Where? I mean, I know. No, I mean in development. Where can they really take that character?
I don't know. I've only seen episode 1.
Well, we can
You
speculate.
can speculate.
She learns to accept herself for who she is.
She already did.
She
Right?
seems to be on the path to
She's
doing
on the
that, yeah.
path there. Yeah.
Didn't she
has-
already did? Because she came to that realization.
Do you
She's
want
still probably very insecure though.
Do you want me to really tell you where the story's going, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be an episode where it fucking rains. And she's going to get stuck at Purple Bob's house.
Yeah.
And she's going to have to live with the poor, like that episode of Good Luck Girl. And it's going to give context to how she's a spoiled child.
Uh-huh.
And she's going to be like, nah, I'm all in on your dream now, too.
Okay. Yep.
And I know what you're saying. Wouldn't it be nice if we got some of that in the first episode? But we didn't really get much of it.
Thank you, Eric.
But I think some of it is there.
No, the seeds are there, but yeah, they were left on the top of the soil. And they're not really buried yet.
This like microscope level of like
This is the
interrogation to
same.
one character.
This is the same
Yeah,
sort of
it's a real
analysis.
fucking shame that you have all these hot takes when we already knew we were going to pick the other show, and we're going to have way less of a microscope on it.
I don't know. I think I'm actually still picking Smile Down the Runway.
He's
Spoiler
gonna do
alert.
that. He's gonna do that purely out of spite now because
I'm
he has
not.
he has to defend his wife's honor.
No, I'm not.
No, Ray. First of all,
Nothing to do with that.
No, I know.
like I was actually having watched both shows. I'm like, you know what? I could be swayed one way or the other on this one. But I think we talked enough about this show. You
Right.
hate?
I'll leave it at this. Right. Okay. And this might make it biased. And it's not that the fact that I didn't like the subject material.
It's because you're a nudist.
Yeah, sure. No, but the story,
Nudist
like I
beach.
can understand that, like that sort of story before because we've seen it before.
Yeah, it's my favorite shonen battle anime of this season.
No, in the story's already been told in the Devil Wears
Yeah,
Prada.
1% of
the
1%
story
of talent. Maybe.
The story has already been told in the Devil Wears Prada. They're just going to put an anime spin on it, and
I'm sorry, I haven't seen Devil Wears Prada.
exactly. Well, get ready to see it because you're watching it.
That's fine. I say Devil Wears Prada seems like it might be an okay movie.
It is an okay movie, and
All right,
this is
then.
why this show is garbage.
DJ, so that I don't get the joy of it, please bring us through Interspecies Reviewers, the plot of the show that Smile Down the Runway is up against.
So, Interspecies Reviewer is about two goddamn American heroes
From Japan,
from Japan.
From
Well, from
fake
from-
Landistan.
fake Landistan.
Landistan, and
They might actually say where they're from at
Don't
one
care.
point. We just weren't watching.
and clearly, and they,
I was distracted in my defense.
and they are joined by a third in the second half of the first episode, a third goddamn American hero, and their journey through reviewing every species of prostitute they can find.
I think he's going to try to stop there.
You better not stop there.
I mean, that's the gist of it. I figure we can go back now and kind of go through it.
DJ, there's a subtle romance plot. There's a fall from grace and a desire for redemption. There's
Where was any of this?
There's Snake Man racism. This show has depth.
There was Snake Man racism.
Yeah,
There
Ray.
was Snake
I see you
Man
nodding.
Yeah, there was.
Full disclosure, I'm not going to say much about the show because I have read this.
Oh, so you did read some of these?
Yeah, I've read most of this probably.
Oh, for real?
It wasn't very long.
To be fair, like when I tried to watch it that night, when I sent the text out and Ray was in the middle of watching it, Funimation wouldn't load it. So I just started reading it on Manga Rock, and I read like the first chapter, and yeah, it is like maybe like 5 pages long.
Show's
a quick
great.
Read.
So, you asked where those things were in the show. Which one?
The Fall from Grace.
He's an angel with a broken halo.
Oh, you're talking about the angels fall from grace. Okay.
Right.
I thought you were
He has to
implying
redeem
that
himself.
That our two original
She
heroes
has to redeem it.
Well, sure,
has to
fall from
redeem-
grace.
There's
Like, no, they started in the sludge and they ended in the sludge.
There's the meta conception of anime's fall from grace present in the show and its existence, sure. But I was speaking more specifically of the angels
What
fall
the
from grace.
fuck?
Sorry, Ray, you just went so deep on that other show. Someone's got to fucking stand here and sound smart while they talk about a soapland fairy tale. Side note, I really wish this show was called Soapland Fairy Tale. Yeah, no, there's this secret soon romance between Stunk and Barmaid
Zal?
Girl.
Can we?
Oh.
You talking about the elf?
Oh, Barmaid Girl. Oh, yeah, I was talking about the elf.
No, not the elf. The bird.
Yeah.
Bird.
No,
Girl.
I thought he was talking about the elf and the mature lady, whose name I forgot.
So what was it? It was like Mizuki or whatever.
Yeah, because she has her own segment at the end of every episode, and I can't wait.
Seems to.
A hot and heavy debate about elf and human MILFs was the first part of this episode.
Correct.
Boy, that's a strong description of an episode of a show, if I've ever heard one.
Well, this episode title is real long because I think it's just the first 3 chapters.
And I mean, let's take a moment.
Please.
To just
All the time you need.
Yeah, to just cherish their entrepreneurial spirit, and not only doing this for personal gain, but also to benefit society as a whole by posting these reviews on a public wall and making vast amounts of money from it. They're heroes. They are heroes.
I mean, they are the capitalist spirit and personified.
Stunk is a great name for any character. It might be the best name for any character.
Just because it sounds smelly and dirty.
Because the guy looks smelly and dirty.
Yes, he does. Stunk looks like a gross character. He looks like a scumbag.
He looks like the kind of guy who spends every night and every penny he owns in the red light district.
He looks like a guy whose name Stunk.
That's true. That halfling character, I forgot his name.
I think it's like Zelk.
Whatever, is great.
The trials of being a halfling.
Yeah, especially when confronted with an octopus woman. Awesome.
You could have just said octopus.
Nope. Nope. There'd be.
You could have.
Be dishonest.
They would have been dishonest to our loyal viewers who sat through my Smut on the Runway breakthrough.
Your breakthrough, huh?
Yeah, breakthrough.
Then we have an angel descends at Meow Meow Palace. Or Paradise, sorry.
I don't know why you looked at me immediately. Dude. There's nothing. Okay.
That angel character.
That angel character.
So, I like how they just immediately assumed, like, hey, let's go get laid. And they're like...
It seems pretty in character.
But they did... They let on that they didn't know like anything about angels really, like, oh, this is the first time I've ever seen one. Like, yeah. Me too. These are really rare. And then like, yeah, we'll go get you some action tonight, and then they're like, the angel in their inner monologue is like, well, it's a good thing I at least have both parts, but they don't know that. And it's just like, well, from the outside, this angel character looks like a woman, so they're just really like
That's
playing fast
consistent
and
with the
loose.
lore.
What?
Yeah.
That's consistent with angel lore.
Okay. I don't know, but
Androgynous Abercrombie and Fitch workers, yeah. That's basically angel from the Bible.
oh yeah, no, androgynous. I get. This was not androgynous.
Androgynous looking is what he is.
Androgynous is pretty much the middle ground in definition.
I know.
So, I mean, like, it could either be an absence or a wealth.
Fair.
As long as the math balances out.
I only thought I take androgynous to mean
That was the
a
most
lack.
like poetic way to
Yeah.
explain that I've ever heard.
Thank you. I'm
It's
quite flowery when it comes to discussing Monster Girls.
You're very verbose
It's either an absence or a wealth.
of featurettes.
You can use that for free.
But then, yeah, naturally, take him to the cat prostitute, the Neko prostitutes.
Hell yeah.
That'll come back later.
Unfortunately,
And then we can't get enough of that sensitive bird-made cloaca.
and they couldn't get enough of it. They travel so far, they disappear for weeks on end to post
This review.
a triumphant review.
But the people needed it.
The people demanded it.
The market required.
Information wants to be free.
Thanks, Snowden.
Thanks, Snowden.
I mean, that's what these
Yeah.
fucking heroes are. They're the Snowden of this interspecies world.
You know, that could take on a very different context
Wholeheartedly.
based entirely on what part of the Snowden story you believe. DJ doesn't keep up to date on news. That's why
No.
we watch anime.
Yep.
I think we've talked this show sufficiently to death.
Now, don't get me wrong. I really like Interspecies Reviewer. Like Ray said, it has a Village People song in the opening.
We didn't talk about
yeah,
that
yeah.
yet, but we really
Ray
thank
said
you
that
for
before.
reminding me.
Yeah.
That text of does Interspecies Reviewer's intro sound like In the Navy to you guys? At which point I spent like 20 minutes listening to it on repeat, being like, yes, it does. And oh boy, that's a good intro.
It's a good intro.
It's a great intro.
Something we don't bring up that often because we don't really think about
The
it.
Village People?
No, I talk about the Village
yeah,
People all
we
the
talk
time.
about Village People all the time.
Okay.
Boy, just the other day we were talking about how much we want to listen to Go West again.
And I did last night while I was editing the podcast.
That's what go ahead.
Again, I don't know what else there is to say other than DJ. Which one of the two survivor torches do you put out on your side of the room?
I'm gonna put Smile Down the Runway. I enjoyed it more. I really like Interspecies Reviewer. Like this was a hard matchup for me, but I think I just enjoyed Smile Down the Runway more. What about you, Eric?
Oh, no. Eric's the tiebreaker.
Oh, Eric's a tiebreaker? Okay, well,
Because
Ray.
the audience
Ray,
clearly...
which one did you win?
Clearly.
Ray, holy shit, you just doomed yourself. Go ahead.
It was Interspecies Reviewers. The Smile Down the Runway's Hot Garb.
So as DJ was asking me, I was like, man, I really hope he picks Ray first so I can really wax about whether or not I'd like to keep watching this show and talk about it or force Ray to keep watching Smile Down the Runway. And if it was DJ, I would pick the other show to make him watch it. But Ray, you're just such a sweet boy. I can't make you watch a show you hate so much.
No. It should be on your own merits.
No, I know. And like, I'll be honest with you, I like both of these shows
Yeah, I
for
like both of
very
them, too.
different reasons.
Yes.
But I am going to pick Interspecies Reviewers.
And I knew this going into it that Smile Down the Runway would lose. I didn't expect, Eric, you to like it as much as you said that you did, but
I said,
I'm pleased to hear that you enjoyed it as well.
I was 100% same feelings as Ray for the first like 10 minutes. But that one moment I was like, there's something here.
No, like the
And-
shows, they might have something going on for it.
And because of the way we picked the shows and I wrote them down, it is fairly obfuscated what was up against what. So I was like, based on their merit. But yeah, I think Interspecies Reviewer goes on to the next round to fight against a wholesome golem dad
Oh,
and his kid.
That's gonna be
that's
oh
gonna
man.
be a good fight.
This one, that's the second round, might be a good fight.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Also, I'm assuming people are watching these in order, so I don't have a problem talking about who won the episode before this.
Right.
All right. Well, should I say what next week's episode is going to be?
Please. Right, this one.
It is. If my favorite pop idol went to, or I would die if my favorite pop idol went to Budokan, versus Sorceress, Stabber, Orphan.
This one could also be a close one.
That is probably gonna be a close one.
It'll
actually.
probably be a close one.
Here we go!